Hello, welcome to another edition of the Beckwiths. I've got to apologise. I've got to apologise that we haven't had a video out for a few weeks. The reason for this is that I was really busy at work. I then was really ill, and I had to end up taking 8 days off work. So I'm just about getting over it now. I've still got a bit of a so or even a cough like. So but I wanted to introduce you to our new tow car. It's a Ford Kuga TDCI something shift. It's a something shift. I can't remember what it is exactly. It's got a right fancy name, but it's all singing, dancing automatic Kuga. Now this, I've always had, how can I put it, second-hand cars that I've only paid a few £1,000s for, and they spent more time in the garage than they have on the road. It's cost me a fortune. So I've decided to go down the road of leasing. And this lease I've got is the lease with a difference, because I'm actually got the option at the end of the term to buy the car. So, which is what I will probably do at the end of the term, unless I change my mind in the meantime. But I decided to bite the bullet, spend a lot of money every month, and have a nice car to drive around in, because my car is my office, my workshop, and my office sometimes. So I can spend a lot of time in my car during the day, and then some days I don't spend very much time at all in it. So when I'm in it and I'm doing, like, I don't do a lot of mileage, but I'll do a lot of to and fro in between jobs. So I wanted something that, I'm paying for. I want something that I'm going to be comfortable, that I liked, that I want to drive, something that I want to have as a luxury for me and my wife and the dog. So that's why I've gone for this Ford Kuga. And I haven't yet had it on the van on it. All I've had the electrics on attached just to make sure they work. So can't tell you what it tows like. So that'll be after our first video vlog when we go on our Yorkshire tour in September, which will be September by the time you see this video. So yeah. Right, let's have a look at the luggage area on the car. This is where the boot and whatnot. So, in the boot, as you can see, the boot is very big. Excuse me. Here you can see that's the seat. I've got air seat up. It's split through, like 2/3 seat, so I've got 2/3 of the seat down, 1/3 still up. That's purely because when we're in the Sedona, Bex could sit between us in the front, so now in this one she's got to sit behind, so I keep that seat up for the dog. The rest of it I use for luggage space, well, tools and the like. So as you can see, I've got my ladder in here, I've got my extendables down there, I've got my boxes with my stuff in there. So it does everything I want it to do, apart from I've been spoilt. Well, I'll tell you why I've been spoilt. In the Sedona I could get anything I wanted in it. I even had a single bed in the back of it, so that's how big it was. So in this one I even managed to have my small extension ladder set in. In this one I struggled to get me 8 tread steps in, and I'll show you now how that works out. So as you can see, I now share my seat with the steps. On a short distance trip it's not too bad at all, but on long distance, if I'm going working away, it could cause problems. So therefore I think in time I'm going to have to invest in some roof bars for the vehicle. But apart from that, the vehicle itself, it's 9 out of 10 for on luggage and loading carrying. 9 out of 10. So we'll get rid of the ladders and we'll have a look around the cab area. So this is what I see from on my dashboard cluster. You got this speedometer, the fuel gauge, temperature gauge and rev counter. Let's turn it on. It's push button start.
It's been tipping down for and on and off throughout the course.
So you can see now I've not got my safety belt on. We've got automatic.
Terrific. And this is
let's get rid of the radio. So in the middle we have an app screen. This excuse me, this car is equipped to talk to my phone, so much so that I can take messages, I can see text messages on the screen. Also I can do hands-free, and a very clever feature is that should I have an accident and the airbags go off, it rings 999 automatically. Apparently this has been introduced because 2 young girls went down a ravine, and although they were conscious they couldn't reach the mobile phones. So if they'd been able to reach the mobile phones they would have survived, but unfortunately because they were down there 12 hours plus, they died of their injuries. So that's why this feature has been introduced. The salesman said I could leave it off if I wanted. I said no, I think we'll have it on because I like that idea. I like the idea that the phone for help even if I'm unconscious. So that's good. What else have we got? We've got 2 trip computers. Again, with the Sedona, I had 2 trip computers, so there's nothing new there. The difference being on this one is I've had it a month now. Alright, I've been using the diesel out of the out of the Sedona because they were full tank diesel in Sedona when it broke down, so I got it all out and I'm now using that in this. But that full tanker diesel on the Sedona would have probably lasted me about 400 miles. I'm now on 580 mile in this car, and I've still got a third of that diesel in the garage. So that's how much more economical this car is to the Sedona. We've got all the usual buttons on here, the lazy buttons as I call them, to save you stretching over there. You've got your aircon down here and your automatic gearbox and your electronic parking brake down there. It's got automatic lights, so when I leave the lights, I can just leave the lights on permanently and they come on and off as it goes dark. When I turn the engine off, they stay on for a few minutes and then go off. So yeah, so we've got, I'm not sure about the seating arrangements and everything. I set my seat in a position and that's it, it's in that position for life. We've got obviously electric windows, electric door mirrors, which are heated with the heated rear window. My front windscreen, like all Fords, has an electric demister as well, so that in winter you get in and demist your windows in minutes. None of this scraping like I used to have to do on the Sedona, so that's good. Yeah, so all in all, this car is everything I need. Well, let's go for a drive and see what's what. So, how does it drive? Well, it drives really nicely. It's automatic. It's a power shift, by the way, is the word I was looking for before. And I haven't a clue what power shift means. I thought it was something to do like with racing cars, but have these paddles on the steering wheel. Well, that'll be handy. Anyhow, it's not, so I haven't a clue what the power shift means, but yes, the car drives really nice. It's quite big and chunky, a bit like the Sedona really. That was big and chunky, but once I got used to it, alright. The difference between this and Sedona is where my windscreen finishes on here, I'll then have another 2-3 foot of bonnet up front of that. So like, I'm sat back here now, the front of the car is probably 6 foot in front of where I'm sat. So you've got to be aware of this when you park it up, because it's going to be very easy to hit a wall or hit the car you're going up in front of. There's no sensors on the front of this car, so you know you've got to really get used to that, and it took me a bit to get used to parking it in parking spaces and whatnot. I've either had the back end stuck out and been nowhere near the line at the front, or been over the line at the front of the front. Back end's got loads of room in. So yeah, as for driving the car, it drives like a dream. I've been on a couple of long trips. We've got cruise control on it, so I get it on motorway, stick it at 65 mile an hour, just under 70, whatever, and just let it go, and it's really nice. And I think I'm going to find that really good when I'm pulling the caravan, because after a while, like, I tend to get a bit of cramp in my right foot. So with this cruise control on, I can just move my feet around and pander them up and down on the floor and whatever. It's very responsive. We're just in a 30 zone now. Let's take it up to 40, see how quick we can get it up there. And I actually touched 45 then, don't tell anybody, will you? But that was within 300 yards. It's just so responsive on. It's quick off the mark of the lights. If you want to make a quick getaway on the lights, it's quick for that. So yeah, I like its responsiveness. It's very responsive. It's like the Sedona. I don't like going shopping in it because it is a big chunky car, and I much prefer to take Sharon's little Peugeot 107 and park that on the car park. When I first got the car, and I did have to go shopping in it, I used to go on car parks and find spaces with like, well, there's like 6 or 8 spaces and nobody parked in, and I'd park in them in the middle of it, and you guarantee when I come back to the car, people had flanked me, and you think to yourself, why, when there's all this room on this car park, would you want to park side by side? It's just unbelievable. But I'm digressing from the car again. So yeah, it's like I said, this car is my office, my workshop, and I'm in it sometimes just trundling along the roads at 30 miles an hour like this, between jobs. I can like be in Bolton one day, Bolton in the morning, then into Whitefield, over to Rochdale, back into Bury. I get around a bit. So yes, the car is really nice for that type of work. It's very economical, as I said before, and I'm now currently got half a tank of diesel in, and it's telling me I've got a range of 266 miles. I'd have been lucky on the Kia to have 266 miles on a full tank. So that, you know, it's really economical like that. So what it's costing me monthly in rent, I'm saving quite a lot on the sorry, I'm just watching the cyclist who thinks it's a good idea to go across the white line and block out all the traffic so he can get a quick getaway. So anyhow, again, I digress, and yeah, so I'm looking at 266 miles out of a full tank of diesel for just using round town use like I use it for. Something I forgot to mention when we were looking at the apps, the screen, it has built-in sat nav, which probably isn't right good when we are towing the caravan. I'll probably still use my app on my phone. I forgot which app it is offhand now, but I have an app on my phone that's made for large vehicles, so I'll probably still use that for when I'm towing the caravan. But I do use this sat nav quite frequently, that's built into the car, and I find it very, very good for that. What else do we want to tell you about? Well, it's got aircon. I've just turned the aircon on now because it was getting a bit stuffy in here. The windows were starting to steam up. I find that's really helpful. The aircon doesn't half clear the windows quick. So and well, I think I've done the trip computer. I've done. Well, oh, that's the other thing. I've got in this armrest in the corner, you can't see it, but there's an armrest in the middle of the car. There's 2 USB points for plugging your phones into. So that's good. You're not using your 12 volt supply that's in the middle. Although you probably can still use 12 volts. I'd probably stick my phone charger into the 12 volt supply in the middle, because I wouldn't like to be riding around with the armrest open. So the major thing is, how's it going to tow? I can't answer that yet. But our friend Bob Mackay, he has one. He's on his second one. Funnily enough, his new Kuga is identical to this one. The only difference is Bob's got the all-wheel drive. I went for the two-wheel drive. Now there is a reason I've gone for the two-wheel drive. Is I could never see myself using four-wheel drive, and it like I was watching the Caravan Nut a few weeks ago. He was reviewing his Kuga that he's had for a couple of years, well, 12 months or so now, and he said on there he's never had it. He's a four-wheel drive and he's never had it in four-wheel drive, and there's no real point to having a car with four-wheel drive if you're not going to use it. So and yeah, it's totally true. I'm not going to be. The only time you want four-wheel drive is if you're going off-roading, and I'm not going to be going off-roading. I suppose it could be nice in winter if you're in an area where it's very, very snowy. But how often do we get? Well, round our way, we'll have snow for about 2 days, maybe 3 days if we're unlucky. So another thing I like about the car is it has a limiter on it. So now, like, I'm on the road here now, I can only do 50 miles an hour, so I can set me a limiter on here now. I'm not going to because I'm not driving at 50 miles an hour, because I don't think the road's really good enough to be driving at 50 miles an hour. It's too twisty and it's not too, you know, so I'm only driving at 45, but it has a limiter on, so if you're on a road like that you can set it and you know you're not going to go over that limit, which is really good sometimes, because if you missed a policeman with his speed gun sat around the corner behind a tree, you're not going to get a ticket. So that in itself is a very good idea. Let's see, we're still on the 50 mile an hour road and I'm still only doing 40. There's nothing else on it, it's just me and you driving along, having a chat. I've no need to be doing 50 plus mile an hour. So yeah, in all, the car is everything I like, everything I want. Like I said, the only downside is I haven't got the room for putting me 8-step steps in, and I've not got, no, obviously I can't get me small extension ladder in that I used to put in the Sedona. But apart from that, the car itself is brilliant. It is everything I want, and I'm really glad I took the plunge and like to buy a car on lease, or personal contract lease, whatever it's called. Personal contract purchase, I think, is what I've got. So yeah, so the car, so this is basically our new tow car. You're going to see a lot more of it, and hopefully we'll be, well, in the next few weeks we'll be back out there with towing the caravan. In the meantime, I've got another trip up to Yorkshire, to Richmond, working, so I'll be getting a chance to use my cruise control again. So yeah, but I'll be able to use my limiter and my cruise control. Definitely, have I mentioned I like my cruise control? I don't know whether I mentioned that, but if I didn't, I do. So I think on that note, I think I've probably babbled on enough about this car now. I think you've got the general idea. I like the car. So on that note, I'm going to call it a day. it a day, and we'll say goodbye from well, it's goodbye from me because Shaz is working, Bexit is home, so it's goodbye from me. Remember, if you've liked the video, give us a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't done already, and hit the notification icon so when you get a new video out you can come and watch it with us. And also, if you could share the video to your friends, that'd be nice as well. But thank you for watching. Goodbye.